All right, listen up. This one's for the people who act before the crowd. I've got two pieces in front of me. One from CoinsProbe that just laid out a textbook breakout and retest on the charts, and another from Captain Altcoin that basically screams, Kaspa can run even without Binance. So grab a pen, write down two numbers, $0.1268.20. Memorize them, put them in the comments. I want you to tell me which hits first, 12.68 cents or 20 cents. This is the setup that separates the doubters from the people who actually make moves. Let me break it down exactly the way the articles did and why this is dangerous in the best possible way. CoinsProbe calls out a falling wedge breakout, textbook bullish reversal. The token found firm support around 8 cents, pushed through descending resistance around $0.084, and rallied up towards $0.09104 before sellers capped gains. Then it did what healthy breakouts do, pulled back to retest the breakout zone near $0.08161, found buying, and popped back to $0.08668. That exact sequence, support at 8 cents, breakout near 8.4, tap 9 cents, retest and defend, is the confirmation pattern traders salivate over. When price retests the breakout and buyers step in, that's not noise, that's accumulation. That's whales and smart money defending a line. So here's the ignition logic. Clear $0.09104, and the measured move target from that wedge sits at $0.1268. That's the first structural target, 12.68 cents. I want you to picture the order books right now. Bid stacking near $0.081, stops above $0.091. Once that resistance cracks, the liquidity shelf gets swept and the momentum engine engages. That's the moment retail wakes up and the headline writers start breathing fire. Now flip to Captain Altcoin, because this is where the fundamentals make the technical setup lethal. Captain Altcoin reminds us Kaspa already hit an all-time high of 20 cents in August 2024 and has only retraced about 58% to this zone near 8 cents. Think about that. It's already proven it can trade at 20 cents. A 58% retrace off an ATH is just a reset, not an apocalypse. More importantly, Captain Altcoin points out Kaspa's tech. GhostDAG, BlockDAG, multiple blocks confirming near instant confirmations up to 60 transactions per second. Speed and scale baked into the protocol. The token runs on K-heavy hash proof of work, fair launch, no premine. Those are not talking points. Those are trust anchors for miners, builders, and long-term users. And get this. The article says Kaspa is processing around 1.9 million transactions per day. Let that sink in. Real activity, real usage. Low fees, about $0.001 per transaction. That's utility, not speculation theater. Captain Altcoin also notes Kaspa's presence in Binance's ecosystem already via Binance Futures and Binance Pool. That tells you there are established lines between Kaspa and major liquidity channels. Spot listing on Binance, that's icing. But Captain Altcoin's whole angle is, Kaspa doesn't need Binance to run. The fundamentals and on-chain activity can push price back to that 20 cents handle on their own. So what does that mean in market terms? From the current zone near 8 cents to the $0.1268, measured move is roughly a 58.5% jump. That's the short-term target on clean TA. From 8 cents up to 20 cents, that's 150%. Meaning if the market wants to retest the ATH, we're talking 1.5 times the current price. Those aren't silly numbers. Those are the numbers whales plot. Now here's the real trader's psychology. Whales don't accumulate for a 5% bounce. They're in for the extension. The CoinsProbe chart shows the retest held. Bulls stepped in at $0.08161 and pushed price back to $0.08668. That tells me accumulation is live and defensive. That's how you know market makers are fine with holding the line. The macro setup, altcoin rotation, Bitcoin doing the heavy lifting, aligns perfectly. When the breakout above $0.09104 hits, the momentum cascade begins. Retail looks up, social posts spike, and people who slept through the last cycle get hit by FOMO. That's textbook. But don't be naive. Captain Altcoin laid out the risk too. If smart contract delays or a confidence shock happen, price could test the downside. Category-wise, that looks like the 5 cents area if sentiment flips hard. So there's always the downside scenario. No breakout, fake out below the breakout support, and sellers regain control. But between the two articles, the bias is clear. TA plus FA equal sign bullish skew. Falling wedge breakout validated by a retest plus real-world throughput and real miner support. That's an asymmetric opportunity. Don't sleep on the tokenomics either. Captain Altcoin points out supply mechanics, capped supply and halving style dynamics where inflation eases over time. They emphasize over 90% mined by 2025. Scarcity plus adoption equal sign multiplier effect. That's a classic recipe for re-rating. Combine scarcity with 1.9 million daily transactions and miners that prefer heavy hash dynamics, and you've got a recipe for sustained demand. Kraken listings and other exchange picks up liquidity. Binance has already integrated Kaspa in parts of its product ecosystem. That reduces the friction for big money to flow in once momentum builds. Now let's talk headlines and reflexivity. When news hits analysts' feeds and influencers repost the CoinsPro breakout plus Captain Altcoin's on-chain stats, the market's narrative flips from "Is Kaspa legit?" to "Holy, Kaspa is performing." That narrative flip brings new buyers. Narrative feeds price, price feeds narrative. That's the reflexive loop we want. You don't need Binance to trigger that loop if on-chain metrics are strong and the wedge plays out. But if Binance ever decides to list spot, that loop turbocharges. So where do I stand? I'm leaning bullish and tactically aggressive. The charts give us the short-term roadmap to $0.1268. The fundamentals give us the runway to 20 cents and beyond. Short-term, watch $0.09104 as the gate. Mid-term, if daily activity and mining metrics keep improving, 20 cents becomes a realistic retest. I'll leave you on this. Markets don't respect your fear. They respect conviction and timing. Kaspa is coiled and the setup is visible. TA and FA lining up. If you're not ready to at least have a small weight in the position and a game plan, you'll be the one watching screenshots of price spikes later wishing you acted. Not financial advice, always manage risk. But for those who want to be in the room when the breakout unfolds, $0.1268.20 are the numbers to keep in sight. Drop your pick in the comments. 12.68 or 20. Which one hits first? I'll be watching that $0.09104 line like a hawk.